I'd like to welcome everyone today to our Murray City Municipal Council Committee of the Whole meeting, April 2nd, 2024. I'm Councilwoman Pam Carter. All council members are here. We are going to excuse Jennifer. Patty's doing Jennifer's job. We welcome Crystal's doing Patty's job. So we're all good today. So the first thing I need is approval of the minutes for the Committee of the Whole, March 5th, Oh my goodness, how did you turn my timer on?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's time to start, Pam.
I'm savvy.
You need a little shock in your life. So
I know, it's like, oh my goodness. Okay, so I need approval of the minutes for March 5th, 2024. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the minutes of March 5th, 2024.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Can we all say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Great, perfect. Okay, so now we're on to discussion item number 1. Power Department Quarterly Report with our very famous Greg Vallon presenting.
I got Matt here with me too.
Oh, and Matt Young.
There are 2 chairs, we're gonna use them. Is that okay? Well, council, mayor, thanks for letting us come and talk to you. Just a little update about our quarterly update is what it's called, but so I'm gonna go through a few slides and first off, there we go. We'll get it here. Promise we'll get it. Maybe not. Well, we might just be.
There you go.
Is it going? There we go. Now we gotta go backwards. There we go. It's like changing on my screen. We'll look up there. How's that? All right, there we are. See how green we are? Sorry. So anyway, we've talked about UMs in the past, but I just wanted to give you a little more. We've got a few new people on the council. So UMs was formed back in 1980. It helps with our electric services. 50 members, 7 states, and there's 16 projects that are UMs focused, nonprofit, and we kind of get to control our own destiny with UMs. They look at our long-term planning, exploring new resources, and optimizing our existing resources. So that's kind of the vision of UMs right now. So here's the UMs projects that the ones in red are ones that we are in right now. So we're in Hunter. San Juan is it's retired, so there's still some wrap-up costs that we're dealing with there, but it's all but done. IPP project that we're
Was San Juan also coal?
yes,
Okay.
yeah, coal fire down in the Four Corners area. And we'll just kind of go down. We have a Craig Mona, which is a transmission line between Craig and Mona, which we're a part of. And we're part of the Pool Resource Project, GPA, which is our government and public affairs and member services project. So we've got, in the firm power supply, we're in the Red Mesa. We got about 5 megawatts of solar from Red Mesa. And then Sunnyside is, it's a waste coal. It's a 3-year contract that we went into to kind of help get us a little more base load. So we're probably, how many months are we into that? Probably a year maybe.
Define
Maybe.
waste coal.
So it's coal. So it's coal that isn't normally put through used for generation, but they have this plan that they can actually use lower grade coal to produce electricity with. So just a different avenue for us to get a few more megawatts on our system. So
And how many did you say it was?
it's a 3-year
3.
contract. So
But how many megawatts are we getting?
I think that one is it 10?
I can't remember.
10 megawatts,
Yeah.
so that one will go up, we're less than 3 years into that one, so, but just one of our avenues to kind of give us some resources while we're looking at others.
And
So-
which one is that? Greg, I missed.
Oh, so that one is Sunnyside. So it's right, I don't have a pointer, but it's,
Oh, okay.
there we go, so it's a waste coal product
So that's
project that
new,
we're
'cause
in.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yes,
With
that's
the
fairly
Sunnyside.
new, correct.
Huh.
So, that kind of gives us an idea where we're at, and this is just a pie chart of the different resources that UAMPS has. And, we'll go through and kind of relate it back to Murray now, so,
So before you relate to Murray,
yes.
why so few wind? One wind project.
So they have 2 wind projects right now. They have Pleasant Valley Wind, and so Pleasant Valley and also Horace Butte Wind. And so, and those are ones they developed themselves. And so, and they're looking at expanding the Horace Butte Wind. I don't know if we'll be able to buy into that, because I think everyone that's in that will probably expand. But they know that we're interested if there's any extra left over. But I guess the hardest part about wind is it's just developing is expensive and hard to get. So, because you take up quite a bit of property, and you have to go and, get landowners to agree to it, and then the project. But, I don't know if they have any new, other than expanding. So
Which is the Idaho project?
that is, well, that's Horse Butte,
Is that where speaking?
yes. So, and they're also looking at some geothermal right now. So we'll, let's just, so this is kind of our resource breakdown. If you look at the one on the right, so we have about 29% of our resources are hydro between CRSP and our own 5 megawatts up the canyon. We're 21% coal, natural gas, that's our generation. Then we purchase sometimes 35% on the open market. Landfill gas is about 8%, and our solar is about 3%, but we're looking at bolstering our solar. We're looking at another project. And so it kind of gives you the usage breakdown on the other side there, on the left side. So we're trying to, we have a fairly diverse portfolio, I believe, and it's one that we're working on every day to, try to make a little greener, a little better, but it's a struggle, trying to make sure you have enough base load, trying to get enough, the resources that we are looking to, they're a little greener. So it's something we're always looking at though, but I think I'm pretty proud of the portfolio that's been put together over the last 30 years. So we're better than most. We might not be as good as some, but we're better than most. How's that? So
It'd be better if there was less coal, more solar.
I agree.
So, I know.
We're working
I
on
know,
it. We're working on it.
Hey, but we've got Little Cottonwood generating right now.
Yeah.
It's at 1 megawatt right now.
It's
Hey.
just so we're
It's under that.
750 kW today. So, and I can talk. We'll talk to that real quick. So, Unit 1 didn't run last year. So we got a new manager in, Chris Neiman, and they got a company up there, and they started looking at things, and so they're able to take a part off of Unit 2, put it on Unit 1, start it up, and it's been running ever since. And so we've got the replacement part ordered, and so we're ready we should have both turbines up and running as soon as we get the water. So, yeah, it was unfortunate that we didn't have Unit 1 last year, but that's water under the bridge, so to speak.
So pleasant.
Sorry, no pun intended, I
Right.
promise. But we're looking forward to a really good year. There's a lot of water up in the mountains that we know about, and so we're excited about a new hydro year for us. So we'll keep you posted on that, but Unit 1 is up and running. It's been running, probably 3 weeks now at least, so. Let's see. So here's kind of our challenges. So we're always looking for low or no carbon resources. transmission is always a problem when it comes to, getting, and that's the other thing, you look at transmission lines and where you can build solar, or not solar, I mean solar, but wind. And then you look at how we balance our resources, because you have to have a base load. And then the energy supply chain is getting a little crazy right now. We've got an RFP coming up for our central substation transformers. I'm a little bit nervous as to how far out they're gonna be, because we just had an order of transformers that are supposed to be delivered in about a week or two, and they got pushed out to November. And so it makes it a little dicey. That was probably, I would imagine there's transformers in there that have been for projects, but also we have just into our inventory because, we're trying to bolster our inventory for that very reason, because I think now, they used to quote 52 weeks and they said they're gonna be more like 80 weeks out for transformers. So that's crazy. That just, I was sitting by Russ today and he goes, let's get our transformers ordered for his project, I mean, so we got a lot, we're working, we're trying to get a handle on some of those things, but we don't have any control over that, which is hard.
What do we attribute it to?
It seems like it all started back in COVID
And
and it just
hasn't
never caught
caught up.
back up. And then I think Electrify America kind of contributed to that in a way, because you get people starting, well, it's like anything, once something starts to become scarce and everybody starts to go out and purchase and starts, not hoarding, but I guess that's probably a pretty good word. We would hoard, we're trying to hoard if we can, so we're all in the same boat, so we're all going after these transformers that are hard to get right now. So, but we have a fairly good stock, but yeah, we're trying our best there, so, and we went out and ordered more when we found out. But they just keep getting pushed back a little bit here and there, so we'll keep you posted on that, but for now, I think we're pretty good. We're okay. We do have a transformer for the theater, so we're good.
We have our
That's another inside joke, but anyway, so this is one of the projects we're looking at. It's Fremont Solar Project, so it comes with solar and storage, which is pretty awesome. Because, so what happens is, once the sun goes down, and that's kind of when our peak hits, we can have a battery option that will go anywhere probably from 2 to 4 hours into our peak. And so that's awesome, that's pretty huge. I was just up at Heber the other day, and they put a 1 megawatt battery backup on their system, and they love it. It was expensive, but it's something I want to go up and look at and see if that would work somewhere on our system. We could put it in one of our substations. What that does is it just extends into the peak, and so it's like a resource. It's like bringing a resource on. So it'll be interesting to go talk to them in depth and see if it would be something that we could look at.
How
But-
big are those?
Oh, they said it's about
It's like a storage or shipping container
yeah, like a small
size.
shipping container.
Yeah.
So for 1 megawatt.
Wow.
And talking to Jason Norland up there, he's their director, and they really like it. It's they got some bugs they're working out. It's brand new, and I think it might be the first one in our area that I know of at least. So at that
Within
scale,
UAMs?
at that scale, yeah,
Yeah.
they're part of UM. So
Yeah.
Wish for them, that's awesome.
Fremont,
Iron County.
North of Paragona there.
there we go. If you know where that's at, good for you.
Which is down by
Oh, Iron County.
north
Okay.
of Cedar
Field trip.
City.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a
You
half
go to
hour
St.
north of
George.
Cedar
I
City.
live in my
I
bubble
know.
here in Murray.
I'm with you there. So, but that one we're excited about. So
How?
our entitlement's 10 megawatts.
Oh wow.
So
Does
that
that
will
say
be
2026 or
yes.
28?
So they're looking at two right now. They're narrowing it down to two different. They've got two they're looking at, and it'll be narrowed down to one. But I think this is the one that's going to go forward. But it's still not completely. They haven't signed everything yet. So, but it's 20. Yeah, I can't read that.
26.
26. Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Oh, yeah, 26.
There it is. It's in the grass. So it's in the green grass.
Finish that.
So geothermal, this is another one we're looking at. We have 5 megawatt, just under 5 megawatts on this one. And there are two locations in Winnemucca and Fallon. And if you don't know where Winnemucca is, I can't tell you. But,
I do.
You know where that
I've
is.
driven- I've driven-
You gotta
driven
Go there and
past
gamble.
Gamble.
So that one is,
Is this replacing another plant there in Winnemucca?
no, well, this would be new to us. This would be a new geothermal plant for UAMPS.
Oh,
So
New
this
to
is just a
us.
new project and it might be one that's, yeah, it seems like there is one geothermal that they're expanding and it might be one of these that they're looking at. But it'll be new to UAMPS, so
So shiny and new.
I know, it looks good, doesn't it? So
Does it have
we're-
the price tag still on
we're,
it?
yeah, somewhere. So we're excited about this project as well.
when does that one
Um,
go online?
Well, that one was
Sorry.
backwards. Come on, we'll go. There we go.
25 years?
In 2027.
So 2027 and so that'll be the commercial operation dates and that's probably depending on where the location is.
Okay.
So,
That's great.
and then we're looking at natural gas generation. They'd like to build a new plant. And so they're looking into that and we would have an entitlement, so that would come out of the study entitlement would be 6.4% or whatever of the plants. So if it's a 200 megawatt plant, we'd get 6% of that, so. So that's just another, and this one,
It's solar and natural gas, is that what I'm reading?
that is one of their options, yes.
Okay.
So, one of the sites is solar and natural gas. So, that'd be another good option for us, so, but we definitely need to start looking at replacements for our coal units, we'll probably, we're hoping at least another 10 years with our Hunter plant. And,
However, the legislature is not being helpful.
no, they're not.
Amen, Diane.
To say the least.
Amen.
So with Hunter, what does Rocky Mountain's announcement yesterday do to Hunter?
Yeah, that was, Doug just told us about that, it's 10 to 14, wait, no, it was,
Yeah, 2042.
yeah,
It's
I mean,
closed down.
if they, yeah, that'll be
What they're
interesting.
shooting for.
Mhm.
It's just
I
if
don't
we
know
can
if
get
that'll ever, I
coal.
don't know if that'll ever happen, but I mean, that's in their, at least that's in their, that's in
I
their
like-
their
I like
long-term
32
planning.
better.
Yeah, I think, if we can get 32, that'd be great for us, because hopefully by then we can transition into, I can't
Hunter's
say
been,
it.
Hunter's been like topic of conversation since I've been on the council, since I joined the council, so it's pretty
Well,
interesting.
the good thing about Hunter is we have the debt's paid for on that plan. And so it's one of our least expensive resources, but then the coal issue, it doesn't help us out very well when they can't get coal. And so it turns it into a middle of the road resource for us as
Yeah.
far as costs. But if they had a coal supply, that's just a really good, it's run well,
Yeah,
it meets our needs, but yeah, so as long as we can get the coal issue solved, and if we could go to 2032, that'd be awesome. So we're hoping for that. I'm trying to think if there's
How much
any
do we-
questions for us?
How much do we pay per megawatt at Hunter?
It could be 35 when it's running really good, and kind of more like in the mid-40s. Otherwise, so that's still good. But do you have anything to add, Matt? Do you have any questions for the fire department?
The solar project that we're planning on, not the Red Mesa, but there's the other one?
Yes.
When is that? Right.
I thought that was
Was that in there?
2026. That was the one that we couldn't read.
Oh, okay.
Right, 2026?
that's
I'm just
Fremont.
having short-term memory.
No, that's okay.
Red Mesa is already live, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's up and running.
And we're buying more when they expand it?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we like that plant in there. So we've talked about the area down there, the Navajo Reservation. I mean, they have people, there's US citizens that do not have electricity,
I know.
which is,
The
to
Light
me,
Up
just
Navajo
doesn't make any
project.
sense whatsoever. And so I will be participating in that again this year and thankful for the support there, because I think it's important.
Wasn't there an article written about that area just recently?
Yeah, I believe there was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so it's,
How they,
and they're trying to get it to move forward faster, which I think would be amazing if we, so we'll do our small part, but I think it's gonna take more than that, but to me, it's like,
Let's go, how many people received electricity last year?
whew.
I mean, for what the group did, it wasn't a huge group. so-
No, I mean, it was a couple hundred, yeah, it was in the,
Which was impressive to them.
yeah, oh yeah.
Thrilled.
Because the challenge down there to build they're so dispersed, the homes are so dispersed that they're building miles of lines just to serve one customer, right?
Yeah.
So.
But they
It's
were,
a huge-
yeah, they were so thankful,
Yeah.
I wasn't down there but when they got to actually turn a light on for someone, I guess the tears would just flow, just the emotions were there and just,
Yeah.
it's like, so they didn't have to go get ice every day to keep something cool. So
Yeah.
it's like, they got refrigeration now and they've got running water or whatever, I mean, it just, to me, it's heartbreaking, but at the
Makes you
same time.
appreciate when your power goes out for about 15 minutes and you've got
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah.
Right, for sure,
That, in this day and age, maybe shouldn't happen, but
yeah.
when you see what they've gone through, it's not much.
Well,
Humbles
we're trying to keep the lights on the best we can, but we appreciate
Yeah.
your support. You guys are awesome, so
Oh.
thank you.
You're always here. The lights are always on for you.
Thanks.
I think
We
it's,
kinda need that.
oh, the lights are on. That's what someone said to me once, I said, Ruth.
Okay, so, council.
Yes. Go ahead.
I just have to ask, so, IPP,
Yes.
do you know what's happening with that? I mean, is
So-
that on hold? Is it gonna?
That's a good question.
I know you
I've
don't know.
heard, no, I don't, I've heard that there's gonna be possibly a legislative session to help
Right.
iron some things out. That's all I know at this point.
Do you know what those things are that need to be ironed out? Do you have any sense of that?
I'll take it from one.
Well, I mean, I have to be careful what I say here, so.
Yeah.
You don't wanna put you in the
Politically
spot.
correct answer would be, there's a lot. But I've said it before, I mean, to me, it's like, I feel like we're losing control of something that is run very, very well. And it's an asset that has, the management is amazing, the coal plant is amazing, I mean, it's, to me, it's like, they're fighting over,
They're making an issue where none exists.
It's just
yeah,
that.
in my mind, it's just a political, it's just a totally political issue,
Yep.
and hopefully someone, cooler heads can prevail and something can be done to right the ship there, but,
Yeah, I was so disappointed that the governor signed it. I mean,
Yeah, me too. I'm with you, Diane.
just, I don't know. It's not like he
Time of
wasn't
year.
educated.
no,
Uh-huh.
no, he was, but it also, I mean, you gotta look at the legislature, they pass it,
I know.
right? So I mean,
Well, I don't
Yeah.
give them a lot.
no.
of
So enough is said on that subject, Nick. We appreciate being with you today, so.
Okay, so,
Great.
So
With
we're
that
gonna
being
we'll
said-
plug in, so
okay,
we definitely would like to set up times and we'll get with Jennifer and Patty. We'd love to have you come at whatever and come see our dispatch center, or our central control, sorry, it's not
Yes,
dispatch
we need
center.
to go see
Central
some
control,
others.
so you can see what our central control operators are doing on a daily basis, helping to keep, trying to save us money and schedule power to this, it's pretty awesome. And see our generation plan and then maybe up to the hydro, and then
Definitely up to the
maybe one day
Yes.
we'll make it up to IPP together, so,
Yes,
okay?
That would be-
and your new offices.
Thank you, Greg.
I love it, their new office.
Alright.
We sat in our chairs today.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank
You
you.
go first.
Thank you.
okay, so we have our reports from the 2024 National League of Cities Congressional Conference, and we will start with Council Member Adam Hopp to go first, and then Councilwoman Rosalba Dominguez will go last. Go ahead.
I felt like the conference just a lot of emphasis on President Biden's infrastructure plan and just a lot of emphasis on getting grants for those things, that there's a lot of that money is supposed to go down to the municipalities. So I just think it's a good reminder for us as we're looking at any kind of infrastructure plan to look for federal grants, because that was a huge, like I think of the 4 sessions I went through, 3 of them all dealt with that topic. And it just kept coming up again and again and again, but there's just a lot of money for us
And when will that be available, do you know?
now.
It's now available?
Yeah, I got an email just today from National Leagues with a whole list of federal grants that are coming due in the next,
These are the big ones.
Yeah. over the next few weeks, so there's a lot that they can do. So, you'll probably push off of that more.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. That just went.
And I know each department, Doug, Mayor, they do their grants. And because I read something in one of your emails, Doug, that talked about a grant. I think it was landscaping. Yes, landscaping. So I know that each department head, through Doug, Mayor, they write grants for a lot of these projects that they don't have to spend the taxpayers' money. They rather have the grant money be paid for those things, so, yeah. Okay, so, Zalba, you're next.
So I just put this into a little PowerPoint, and these are some of the sessions I went over. So I attended the Youth Delegates Workshop, from Passion to Policy, Developing Ordinances and Community Change. Some of the key takeaways were youth were able to learn key city players in developing relationships and tangible asks for their cities. Some of their ideas included dog parks with more families owning dogs at 58% in relation to population and lack of family growth. This was from a Utah, I think she was Miss Utah that presented this in that session. It was pretty interesting why, and she had all these stats. It was pretty cool. Some of the other ones are skate parks with lessons, community pools in some of the hotter climate areas, online libraries having some that's not available to some areas, and safer walkways within their cities. And also there was a huge emphasis in encouraging you to apply and ask to be on city boards, which I thought was really cool. And I don't know where we would fall into that here, but deep dive session, building a community-centric approach to emergency response services. This was a really interesting, more grants, of course, but really my biggest takeaway on this was from Greg Jackson and his story about how he was shot as an innocent bystander and how that changed his perspective about gun safety. And there's different opportunities here in terms of different grants that are available, reducing violent crime and supporting law enforcement. They gave out stats that homicide costs the city an average from $400,000 to $2 million, just depending on what it is. And goals to improve services and support decrease gun violence. I know we do have, I don't know if we still have the library gun safety locks.
I think we do.
Yeah, yeah.
He's right there.
And just, supporting that program and how it can be supportive. They gave some really interesting grants about suicide rates and how high they are. And because of that, even amongst youth and our elders. So that was pretty fascinating. Small cities and council meeting, again, they went over the infrastructure grant. Some of the grants are, I know we already participate in the Brownsville, the Bridge Investment Program. I did ask, could it be a walkway? And they said, yes, it could be. So there's opportunities there. I'm sure you guys all know those, but those are some of the offerings that they have. One of the things is they do have training, and there's no cost for cities to select to participate in their program. So if there's a grant here that we're unaware of, the opportunity's there. I also participate in the HELO, Hispanic Elected Locals Official Meeting, and the LGBTQ plus meeting. The key takeaways on here was the workforce needs support in the following areas: childcare, after school programs, support in multicultural communities, and we do a good job with expanding our languages here within the city. 1 out of 5 people experience gun violence. Again, gun violence was a big takeaway at NLC this year. Create pathways to home ownership, support local food banks. This year, 42 House members and 8 senators are retiring, so the makeup of our congressional leaders will change. And I think there was one more the day that we met with congressional leaders as well.
Is that a lot, although?
Yeah, it's a
I'd say that's not
huge, that's, even when we met with our congressional leaders, they were surprised. They had one that day that announced
And
from
I've seen some of
Colorado,
that
so
and
43.
Seems like I've seen more, so.
Yeah. And encouraging you to vote, of course, and housing opportunities for low-income housing. And then the last day we met with our congressional leaders. We just kind of did a whole day of,
That
Just
reminds me,
meeting.
Was we got with Ned, I'm Ned, yeah.
yeah.
Was Ned there?
No, we
We
didn't
went-
go to Rom.
We did one-on-ones with all the congressional.
Congressional leaders,
We didn't get
okay.
into it.
We got
Oh,
with
you
their
did-
staff.
We did do staff with Lee. So we did.
Yeah, we did staff
We got
with
staff
Lee,
with Lee and then
and we were able to met with Congresswoman Celeste
and then staff for the others, yeah.
and then staff with others. And then I spoke to, oh my gosh, what's his name? He's running for Senate. Why can't I think of it?
Curtis.
Curtis. He called because they ended up canceling. I was the only one left from our delegation and they canceled the group meeting. So, yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, that was
We did meet with
wonderful.
Romney and Lee in a larger,
Yeah.
everybody, all of Utah.
Okay,
That was one of them.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
with that, if there's no other business, we are now going to adjourn the committee of the whole and we're gonna go right into the council meeting. Just give me 2 seconds to find somebody to say the pledge. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City Council meeting of April 2nd, 2024. I'm Councilwoman Pam Cotter. Let's go over and who is on the dais this evening. We have Laura Bowen, who is subbing in for Brooke. We have Mark Richardson, who is in for GL. We have Patty Johnson, who is subbing in for Jennifer Kennedy. And we have Crystal. Where's Crystal? Oh, there she is. Crystal is now doing Patty's job tonight. So I think we're all covered. I welcome all council members. I welcome the mayor, thank you, and those that are in attendance. Thank you so very much. The first thing we are going to do, we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've called on Clark Bullen to do that. Thank you, Clark.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for doing that for me, Clark. I really appreciate it. Okay, the next thing we need to do is the approval of the minutes. Is there any corrections, comments, or actions on the minutes for March 5th, 2024? If not, I will take a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the council meeting minutes for March 5th, 2024.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
I have a second. Okay, Laura, do you want to do a, okay, go right ahead.
Okay, Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
Ms. Turner,
Aye.
Mr. Hawk,
Aye.
Mr. Pickett,
Aye.
and Ms. Cotter.
Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we're on to special recognition. I'm going to turn this time over to the mayor and also Matt Erklins. It is considered a joint resolution of the mayor and municipal council of Murray City, Utah, declaring Thursday, May 2nd, 2024 as Arbor Day. Matt Erklins, and I know it says Greg Ballon on it, but we made that correction, so it will be Matt Erklins. Thank you.
Do you want to say something after, or I'll read it? Okay, so I'll read the resolution, and then Matt will say something, and we'll leave it in your hands.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, whereas Arbor Day is observed throughout the nation and even throughout the world on April 26, 2024, as trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas no exact value can be placed on a tree, as the true value is in the eyes of the beholder, and the psychological, emotional, spiritual relationship between people and trees is far-reaching and complex. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil from wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, as well as provide fun, shade, cover, and even safety for us and our living creatures. And whereas in preparing for the future, Murray City is committed to managing the confined spaces along streets and near buildings, so we have a peaceful coexistence between trees, utilities, buildings, and people. And whereas Murray City Shade Tree and Beautification Commission has its prime objective, the beautification of our city by promoting the planting and care of trees and vegetation that will continually add beauty and value to our community, making it more enjoyable and desirable place to work, play, and live. As a Tree City USA now for 47 years, which is really huge.
Wow.
47 years, we are reminded that Murray City without equal. Murray is a city without equal. And now therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the municipal council of Murray City do hereby declare, if you pass, Thursday, May 2nd, 2024 as Murray Arbor Day, and urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, to plant trees that would gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this future generations while beautifying our city.
Thank you. Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we consider a joint resolution of the mayor and municipal council of Murray City, Utah, declaring Thursday, May 2nd, 2024 as Arbor Day.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
I have a motion. I have a second. Is there any discussion by the council member on this? Nope. Well, I love my trees,
Us too.
especially when I have to spend a lot of money to keep it in my yard. Thank you. Okay, so Brooke, Laura, I have Brooke down here. Would you take a roll call?
Yeah. Ms. Dominguez,
Aye.
Ms. Turner,
Aye.
Mr. Hawk,
Aye.
Mr. Pickett,
Aye.
and Ms. Cotter.
Aye.
Okay, so passed, approved, and adopted by the mayor and the Murray City Municipal Council the second day of April 2024. And let me just take just a second. Y'all know Matt Erklins. Sound like I'm from the south, huh, y'all? I'm from the west, Magna. Anyway, Matt is awesome. He is one of our amazing, amazing employees of the power department. If you didn't see him in action, you had to have seen him in action when he put the Christmas tree up. He and about 100 others, but probably about 25 or whatever, but it was amazing. And they made it beautiful. And that's what Matt does. He's in charge of the arborist and just absolutely, we are known for that throughout many, many states. Murray's known for that. And Matt's been the head of that and should receive a lot of congratulations for what he's done, because he's done a lot of work for the city. How long have you been with us, Matt?
9 years.
9 years. I think you're gonna say 90. Anyway, 9 years. You're too young. But 9 years Matt's been here, and it's been a blessing to have Matt. So I'm gonna ask Matt if he'll just take a second and address the council. And thanks, Matt, for all you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mayor, and thank you, Council. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on what the Mayor brought up about our 47th consecutive Tree City USA award. We are the longest running Tree City USA in the state, and we are going to be celebrating that on Thursday, May 2nd at the Arboretum. So I'd like to invite the Mayor and the council members to attend the celebration. So
Do you have a time?
noon,
Noon.
yes. So,
And it will be in the amphitheater?
yep, the amphitheater.
Just like last year?
Yes.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay,
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much for your time.
thank you. Does the council have any questions or comments for the mayor or for Matt?
I'd just like to say thank you, Matt. Thanks for being so dedicated to this. We really appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Thank
I
you.
will say, it's a fun event, and if you haven't gone, you should
Yeah,
go.
it
Yeah,
is.
make the time.
See all the kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, seeing that we are done with that, we are now on to citizen comments. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Step to the microphone, state your name and city of residence, and then you can get the clipboard from Crystal and fill that out, and we will go to that point.
Say hi.
Hi.
This is my grandson Axel. This is his first time attending any kind of council meeting, and I thought we could just come up and say hi.
Hi.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
That's good.
I should give it thank you.
Hello, I'm Clark Bullen from District 3. During one of the recent planning and zoning meetings, there were a lot of citizens giving comments. And I found that a lot of people they were caught off guard when their 3 minutes was over. And it came as an abrupt surprise. And I was thinking if we had a clock, like a timer or something that could help people know where they're at in their 3 minutes. Because if you're in the middle of a thought and somebody says 30 more seconds, then you're like, you lose your train of thought and then you try to rush, and it'd be easier to pace yourself for those who are not used to that amount of time, because giving a lot of comments. Another thought somebody mentioned to me recently is that when they want to get people out to a meeting, the notice that they get of an important public meeting doesn't necessarily give them time if they wanted to send out a postcard or they wanted to give out advance notice and try to get people there. So if there's a possibility of expanding that timeline so that you can let your neighbors know, that you can have a chance to get all your communications out, to get as many people to a meeting as possible, that could increase public participation and improve the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing that there's no more citizen comments, we will go to the consent agenda, and seeing that there is no consent agenda, we will go now to the public hearing. The first item is consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget. And it says Emily on there, but it's going to be Brenda Moore tonight presenting. Thank you, Brenda.
So as Emily discussed in the Committee of the Whole 2 weeks ago, when I was jetted off somewhere else, the amendment has been requested. I'll just quickly go through these. There was an adjustment to the election services for $23,451, $42,000 for the Parks and Recreation Centennial Celebration in the park. $13,000 for the utility billing department to add a Spanish language option, which actually was tested today. We've had a police officer that's a native Spanish speaker go in and do some testing, so that will actually be up in a little while. If you don't pass this, then I'll have to find the money somewhere, but we'll find it. The $150,000 to convert the MCCD zoning code to a form-based code, to hire a consultant to do that writing. And then that would be paid for, because I am a very conservative budgeter, $128,451 increasing the interest revenue, and we have already earned that interest. It's already in the bank. And $100,000 increase in the sales tax revenue budget. Sales tax is even with last year, but I budgeted less than last year. So this $100,000 we will make in the budget unless we hit a really big recession in the next 3 months, which doesn't seem to be likely. And then the last thing on here is $37,000 for the retirement payout for the HIDA State Financial Coordinator, which will be offset by the revenue. We will be reimbursed for that. I just didn't want the expense budget of the police to have to cover that payout. Any questions before we have the public comments?
Yep. And we'll turn that time over to public comments now. If anybody would like to make a public comment, please fill out the form and you have 3 minutes.
I didn't realize that this would be the meeting where you'd be voting on a budget for the form-based code. But if indeed this is the meeting where you make that decision, I just wanted to put in a plug for that. I know it's a lot of money. But if you think about all the money that we could have been making on downtown, if we would have developed it the way that citizens would have wanted a long time ago, then you can think that we really can't afford not to do this, because this is what is going to set the direction of all of downtown and get us to where we need to go. And so I'm not generally one for saying, yeah, let's spend a big chunk of change, but I think it will pay off in droves and for years and years to come. And it's the culmination of all the surveys and open houses and all the things that are done to be able to accomplish what the citizens have said they've wanted over and over and over and over again. We need to be able to lay that out in a form-based code. This is the way to do it. I trust the planning department. Please vote yes on that.
Thank you. Seeing that there's no other comments, I will close the public comment and I will give the council time to now talk about these budgets. So, do I have any comments at all?
So just to clarify, Brenda, we have the money already. Like, this is, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm increasing budgets that will make budget, or the interest budget has already made that amount of money, and it will continue to, interest rates are staying high, so it'll probably even make more. The sales tax budget projections, even if we keep doing exactly what we did last year, will be above budget by quite a bit more than this $100,000.
Okay, I can support this with the exception of number 4. I think it needs a closer look. I think we need to discuss it further. I have some concerns, and I don't think I'm the only one. So what I would like to have done, I'm not sure if now is the time to do it, or if it's
We can take
after we
all-
have a motion.
Let's have everyone comment, and then we can go with a vote motion with what you want to do. Do you want to do it that way? And have people comment about the other budget items and the form-based code budget?
Okay,
Okay.
that's why I'm wondering, because I want to modify it. I want to
Okay.
change that.
Okay.
So do we need to have made the motion first?
Okay, I will go with a motion from Councilwoman Turner. She would like to hold off on the 150,000 and just vote on the other 4 items. Is that what I understand?
Yes, I would like to then move number 4 to be further discussion at the committee of the whole.
Okay. Do I have a second on that? I second it. So what I understand is you want to move to approve an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget, leaving out the 150,000 for professional service related to writing a form-based code in the planning and licensing division in order to discuss and vote on that item separately. Is that what I understand?
Yes, I don't think we've had enough time for that. And it is $150,000. I think that's a lot of money, and we have so much information on this already. I'm just not convinced that we really need to have this at this time. So
Okay.
that would be right. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion and we have a second. Before we take a vote on this, I would like to ask some questions, and maybe Brenda can answer, or if somebody's from the CED department, Phil. Why can't form-based code be written into the MCCD design already?
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
The current MCCD code is constructed through, I believe it's called Euclidean zoning. It's an entirely different type of zone where the zoning deals with the types of businesses that are located there. Form-based code deals, as it says, with the form of the buildings. It's more concerned with the environment and the buildings and how they relate to one another, where our traditional zoning, we say manufacturing is going to be here. You can have a restaurant over here, but you can't have, you know, other things that don't match. The form-based code will basically give you a built environment that relates, all the buildings relate together. And when you're there, you have a feeling of harmony, and it just feels better.
Okay, and I've been contacted, and I don't know if any of the other council members have been contacted by a developer already. And this developer has the strategic plan, which I don't have yet. I mean, I have it, but I haven't been educated on that. And I feel as a council member, other department heads come in with their PowerPoints and slides, and they tell us
what they're going to do, how it's gonna look, where the money's going and all that. And I just feel that this didn't happen in the committee of the whole. And I kind of would like to wait on the 150,000 until I get educated with that strategic plan and how it all joins together as a puzzle. So I have the vision of what your department is seeing the vision of. Also, I don't have a problem with the form-based code. What I do have a problem with is the 150,000 when we haven't gotten the mayor's budget yet. And being not on the budget chair or vice chair this year, I don't know what that looks like. And I know last year we dipped into some of the money to cover nonprofits. And I'm getting very, very leery of dipping into the money and doing these things. So I'm wondering, could the 150,000 be brought into your budget when the mayor gets the budget from all department heads and come out of your department head budget? Could that happen?
That's certainly that's an adjustment that could be made. We did not ask for this in next year's budget.
Okay.
I would like to mention that we are scheduled to present in the MCCD on the 16th of April.
Right.
And we
Okay.
did sit down a couple of times, I believe, with most of the council members. We met at least individually with every single one of them and presented the form-based code to
And I
them.
really appreciate you meeting with me, with Zach and Jennifer, I really do. But this isn't the time to talk to the council
Understand.
members during the dais time. I just feel that conversation that we can have as council members is in the committee of the whole, where we can ask questions and we can bounce ideas off of all five of us. And I just felt like we didn't have that opportunity to bounce ideas
Right,
off of
yeah, that's
all of
because
us.
it would be a quorum, and we can't do that outside of a
Right,
regular meeting.
exactly. But I did get Councilwoman Rosalba's email, and I read through hers. And her really good question was, 150,000 was percentage of the budget is within, and it is better to do it this year versus next fiscal year. Please explain, and you explained that. I just want to wait until the 16th.
Sure, I understand. There is also a very good chance that there will be a significant reduction in the professional services cost for this code. We have been putting out calls and asking for proposals from individual firms, and we have had a couple of local firms that we've been very impressed with as far as their ability to deliver on the timeline that we've requested, which is 6 months maximum, and the prices.
Are you guaranteed that 6 months? I mean, is it gonna be
Well, they
done by 6 months?
present to us a timeline that has all of the steps in their process.
Could you bring that in on the 16th so we could see that process, or is that something that you can't do yet?
You know, I'll have to check, because we're just receiving these quotes now.
Okay.
And so, you know, I'll have to make sure that that's an appropriate place.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I just like to get all the pieces of the puzzle
And
together to form
Sure,
that vision that you and your department have, that I don't have that vision
And
yet.
I would like to mention that the MCCD plan has been on our website for about 2 months. And so it is available, it's a public document, and
Yes.
it's available for anyone to view, including you folks.
Right, right.
I would just like to add, again, I think $150,000 is a lot of money. And I
is.
think it needs a closer look. That's why I think it needs to be separate and further discussion.
Sure, we can do whatever you folks feel is appropriate, absolutely.
Thank you, Phil.
Can I ask a question real quick? You brought up something about you guys meeting with developers, a developer
Oh,
or something?
no, we just I had a developer call me personally, and
Did
then
any other council members have, yes?
I've had them contact me, but I don't
But you met-
meet
Did you meet with them?
I don't meet
No,
with
he called
developers.
me on the phone.
That's what I mean, so you talked to him at some,
Uh-huh,
I've never,
and
I don't know.
And he said, I have the strategic plan. And I'm going, oh, okay. But it's on the website,
Yes,
I'm assuming.
has been
Oh,
for
okay.
quite some
And
time.
then he just said, I'm interested in developing a certain area. And I couldn't get it out of, I finally got out, he was talking about Block 1. So I'm thinking, see, this kind
Did
of.
you refer them to the planning department?
Yes,
at all?
oh,
Oh, thank you.
Pam did.
Oh,
She sent me a
yes.
text.
Yeah, I've never, yeah, okay. I
Oh,
didn't know.
yes.
So this is interested, someone
Yeah,
that's really
and I
interested
just,
in.
and I just feel this kind of dialogue should be held in the committee of the whole and not
Gotcha.
at the dais. But that's just me, but I could be wrong, but you know, hey, it's my first rodeo in attempting doing this, but, he was kind of like, oh, I see your vision, because he asked if he could see the survey. And I asked Phil, could he see the survey? And Phil goes, well, I don't see why not. So if he has a copy of the survey, he has the strategic plan, he knows what the people and the citizens want. I just feel as a council member, could we not do this together as a council and as the mayor and with Phil and Zach and Susan, how we did City Hall?
Yeah, we met first with those people first, and then we presented to the
Right,
council.
yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
So I just think this kind of conversation should be in the committee of the whole where we feel more comfortable than in the middle of a dais.
And you're talking about the or this, what you and Diane
Yeah,
are talking
this
about.
and the developer who contacted me and.
Yeah, I don't think you will get developers in a public meeting to
Yeah.
talk
No,
about their
no, I'm
plans
not
for
saying-
development.
Well,
I
that's a
just
public
wanted to-
meeting, committee of the whole, it's a public
No,
meeting.
no, I'm not saying I want the developers to come to the committee of the whole. What I'm saying is I want to speak freely in a committee of the whole where it's more relaxed atmosphere. This, I just feel that we're talking about 150,000.
But how we did you said you wanted to do it like Old City Hall, we brought you in
Right,
all
right,
individual and went
right.
through everything.
But he was like, I just feel from reading everything and Councilwoman Dominguez's email, it sounds like we're spending 150,000
Yeah, you're talking about for the,
Block 1. I don't see it for all of MCCD, so.
you're just saying in block one, you're saying.
Yes, and that's what that's where I see my vision going is 150,000 for Block 1. Yes, we want the east and the west side of state all look great. But I think we could get that vision through the MCCD by tweaking it.
Well, no,
Can I just clarify something really quick?
Sure.
My questions were, is it less for Block 1? It wasn't just for Block 1. So in my questions and your answers, it
It
didn't
is for the,
specify.
it is for the
Yes.
MCCD,
That's
not
what,
just
that's
Block
my
1.
understanding. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to
It's
clarify
for the-
that,
it's for the entire
that it wasn't
MCCD.
just for Block 1.
Yeah,
And currently in the MCCD, just tweaking it, there would have to be several tweaks. Height, density, setbacks. And so my charge has been to try and move redevelopment in this area as long as, along as fast as possible. That's what we're trying to do.
right.
And if we have to discuss everything that we're working on every 2 weeks or every month, I'll die before this gets done.
Phil, just for
And
clarification,
that's not a joke.
if we just tweaked the zone, Zach said right now it takes you 15 minutes to answer a simple question. Is there a way to simplify
The
it?
process for tweaking anything with planning and zoning involves changing ordinances and having public hearings, a series of public hearings. And then it has to go to the MCCD Advisory Board, which meets once a month. Then it has to go to the Planning Commission, and then it has to come to Council of the Whole, and then to City Council. That's what I mean by, the process is not, we can all sit down and agree on something and feel good about it, and then have it done. That's what's
But even
involved.
just on a day-to-day basis, if a developer calls you, the form-based code would simplify an employee's life.
It would simplify both the developer and the employee. Yes.
It's still $150,000, and I
Yep.
still think we need to.
And, you know, if you're comfortable with appropriating less than that, we could get started.
But then Zach was concerned if we
Yeah.
appropriate less than that, then he would probably have, or may have to come back to us, and he'd prefer not doing that.
Sure,
And,
that's
and
a
I would prefer
possibility.
not doing that as well.
Okay.
My concern is that this code is just another level of bureaucratic red tape. We have done this before. I mean, the mayor and I have gone through this for years, and we did change the code. We changed the code. We did Murray City Hall development. We're in the process of, and that ran very smoothly. So that's why I'm just not convinced that we need to expend these funds, and
Okay.
why I would much prefer to have further discussion on it.
Great. That's
And rather
entirely
than have it
your
be
purview.
part of this ordinance. I would,
Understand.
that's my concern. Anyway.
Okay, is there any other comments from council members?
Yeah, I would like to make a comment. First of all, Mr. Markham, your office has been very open, very helpful, and available. I've gone in and spoken a few times, and with you, with your staff, and your explanation that I've received has been, in my mind, satisfactory. And I think that we need to move forward with the funding of this. And we as leaders need to, first of all, have done our homework, and number two, move forward with it in making this decision now. We are under a direct demand from our constituents to move forward, and so I thank you for laying the groundwork for us moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to take this one step at a time, and city attorney will guide me along this way. Are you
Could
ready?
we repeat the motion?
Sure will. First, I would like to vote separately on the 150,000. So the first thing we are going to do is vote on the number one, 23,451.
There's,
Point of
but there's
order.
point of order.
Point of order.
Oh, sorry,
We
sorry.
have to,
Right.
don't we have to vote on if we can separate before you
Oh,
can vote
yes,
on?
yes. Okay, so let's take a vote. This is my first rodeo on this. Patience, breathe, everyone, especially me. Okay, so let's vote if we would like to move to approve an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget, leaving out the $150,000 for professional services related to writing a form-based code in the Planning and Licensing Division in order to discuss and vote on that item separately. Do I have a motion?
You already have a motion.
Yep,
You
I
have a
just
motion.
wanted.
We have a motion
Okay,
already.
and I second it, and so now we will go for a roll call.
Okay, Ms. Dominguez.
Before I say anything, I just want to clarify, the 150, if we do anything less than $100,000, it's not open, the RFP process is not open, is that correct? Is that right? Okay, so under $100,000, the RFP process is not open. If it was over $100,001, then the RFP process would be open. That means the RFP process would then be open to the public. So with that, I deny the current motion.
Ms. Turner.
Aye.
Mr. Hawk.
Nay.
Mr. Pickett.
Nay.
And Ms. Cotter.
Aye. So seeing that it did not go forward, so I will take a motion for considering an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I move that we consider an ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second that.
I have a second. So I will turn it over to you, Laura.
Okay, Ms. Dominguez.
Aye.
Ms. Turner.
Nay.
Mr. Hawk.
Aye.
Mr. Pickett.
Aye.
And Ms. Cotter.
Nay. So seeing that this ordinance amending the city's fiscal year 2023-2024 budget has passed, and thank you for the conversations. We'll be looking forward to that April 16th with the strategic plan, and I will be coming with questions and all that. Anyways, we will go on to our next one. It is a business item, and there is none scheduled for the business item, and we will now go to the mayor's report. Mayor, I will turn this time over to you.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
Just for your information, Woodstock Meadow, so this is about the two parks that we acquired from the county.
Oh, yeah.
Woodstock Meadows Playground will be installed this week and hopefully finished by, well, will be, if the weather stays okay, it'll be finished by next week. So that'll all be in. Kim was it Kim that told us this? Were you the one that told us that you thought it was a quiet park until you started taking the playground down? And Diane always said it's kind of a quiet park, and all of a sudden he said it wasn't that quiet anymore. But once they found out that we're putting new, they were thrilled, so.
They're very excited.
That's what I hear.
They're aware that that's happening, so.
That's great.
Thank heavens, I know. It was in bad shape,
Yeah.
so they were really appreciative.
Thanks to our park department. Also, Riverview Park, those tennis courts will soon be pickleball courts and being installed now, and the lights are being installed as we speak also. So,
I drove by Saturday in the rain, and they were working on the lights there. Can I ask a question?
yeah, please.
When school is in session and they're out there ding, ding with the pickleballs, will that disturb the students and the teachers, or is it farther away? Because the only room that I know of is the science wing, but that's farther west, and then the shop is always got the saws going and all that. I didn't know if they're going to complain about that, or, I was just curious. so.
They'll hear it.
Kim, do you
I
know
hear
if they will
it.
complain about that yet? I'm just kidding.
You know.
I hear the pickleball from my house.
You
At my
do?
house,
So
yeah.
From your house, you
Yeah.
can, wow, so they are
Things
gonna
echo.
hear it.
I was just curious.
I'm not sure if they'll complain. I guess we'll find out. It is true that pickleball is much louder than tennis. If you compare it to the pickleball courts that are in Murray Park, there's an office complex right next door. We've never heard from anybody over there, so I'm hoping we have the same thing at Riverview Junior High.
Perfect.
I'll just add,
What?
pickleball's the least of their concerns with distractions.
Not at
kidding, yeah.
Riverview. We're really good at Riverview. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I'm glad you asked, thank you.
Thank you.
And then, if this is what they're called, dog poop dispensers, are in all the parks, and Kim had said earlier, please use them. And it's just a reminder, Kim said everyone's pretty good at picking it up and putting it there, but they're kind of getting in the habit of just leaving it on the trail and expecting the Parks Department to pick it up. They do pick it up, but they're just encouraging everyone, if they would, to pick up their own poop. So,
But
anyway,
we-
dog
we-
poop, sorry.
But we don't have any control where the Soccer County ice rink area is.
That's
As far
correct.
as poop or
That's county, yeah.
dog waste, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's correct, Pam, thanks for asking. Public Work has, and last year you heard a lot more, of course, there was 903 inches of snow up there, and so a lot of water coming down that mountain, and so we had tons of requests for sandbags. This year, a little, not much. Russ, is Russ here? Russ meets with the county on Thursday, the emergency preparedness for the sandbags. And so he'll meet with them and report that to us, what takes place after that. But they're already right now, Public Works has sandbags. So most of what you have right now, you're gonna have to take and fill yourself. There are some, I can't remember, Doug, how many did Russ tell us that they had filled, 100? How many? 5,000, excuse me, 5,000. So anyway, so they're available over at Public Works. Probably won't hear much until after Thursday when the county comes out and they'll get on the news and report what they found. So, but that is available now if they need to. A new program, Kim also reported, Sorensen, girls softball. It's just gone, they have 60 participants right now, and they play at Riverview Junior High, and that is growing. I guess bonnet ball has no longer taken place for the last 4 years, and now they've moved into another league and softball. I guess they call it women's
I
softball,
had
but
no clue.
yeah, it's growing. So this
Wow.
is growing back. So anyway,
I'm just gonna say, our Parks Department, I feel like, is doing such a great job with expanding our youth programs for our
Thanks.
kids. Like,
Yeah.
the softball is just the most recent example of this happening. They're doing a really good job.
thank you. Thank you. So that's my report. Any questions?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Well, if there's no other comments or no other comments to the mayor, I will adjourn this meeting.